I overdosed twice. One left me in the hospital and nearly killed me. And I remember going outside of my apartment once again to go buy drugs, and I collapsed on the hood of my car and on the street. And I remember there was a man who was walking by and he saw me and he went and ran to me apparently. I was in and out of consciousness, and he grabbed my cell phone and he scrolled and found my dad's phone number. So he called 911 and he called my father. And I remember the paramedic pulling up and putting me on a stretcher. And I remember seeing my dad and the look on his face as they were pushing me into the paramedic. And it was a look that just broke me because I knew that he was brokenhearted. I remember getting into that ambulance and I remember hearing a still small voice that literally said, "If I were to let you die right now, where would you spend eternity?" So the drug of choice of mine was cocaine. I was a cocaine addict. I actually thought it was okay because it was more of a partying drug. I went to fashion school in New York. I was in the fashion industry. It was just kind of the norm and the regular type of lifestyle. I had an apartment by the beach. I had a car. I had friends. And so I think that I was convinced because my life, essentially from the outside looking in, seemed pretty successful. Jesus found me in a pretty low place. I was literally at the doorsteps of my church. It was about 2 a.m. I was on my way to go purchase drugs after the bar. And I had to drive by my church because that's where the drug dealer was. And something just hit me in that moment where I knew I was tired. I was just fed up with my lifestyle. And something caused me to pull over. I got to the doorsteps of the church. Like 2 a.m, I kneeled down and I began to weep and weep and weep. And it was in that moment that I asked the Lord to intervene and to help and to come into my life and to change the situation. The very next day, I entered into the doors of LA Teen Challenge, and it changed my life forever. When I graduated Teen Challenge, I went to TCMI, and at TCMI, I started working with youth in the inner city of Los Angeles. I graduated and came on staff at TCMI. I was a total for 4 years at TCMI, loving it, getting the opportunity to do ministry like never before. And from there, I went to become the youth pastor at Bakersfield First Assembly for 2 years. Had the opportunity to travel and speak, be a youth pastor, start a school of ministry on our campus. And then after that, I felt the Lord was calling my wife and I to plant a church in Hollywood. So my wife and I and our children went to Hollywood and we started a church. And we were there for 4.5 years and the church is still going. After that, I went to go work in Sacramento as a campus pastor for Samuel Rodriguez. And then we felt the Lord was calling us back to Bakersfield. And now we're in Bakersfield First Assembly serving as the associate pastors and loving everything that we get to do and be a part of. Seeing the look of despair on my dad's face when I was going into the EMT would be the last time I'd see him with that look in his face. All I've ever seen now is a face of joy and how proud he is of his son. And so Teen Challenge is where I found hope. It's where I found love. It's where I was restored. And it's where I discovered that I had purpose.